Baldoni sued Lively and Reynolds for $400 million.
Now in this lawsuit that he just filed again, this is the second lawsuit by Brian Friedman on behalf of Justin, they had nothing to do with that negative round of press that Blake suffered last summer, that it was organic.
Justin Baldoni just obliterated Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds with a shocking lawsuit that flipped everything on its head.
And she was such a brat that she wanted to control every scene, wanted to see all the dailies, wanted to do her own cut and did her own cut of the movie. All this is very unusual for just an actress in the film.
Blake was banking on a gag order to keep things under wraps, but the court wasn't having any of it. Now the power is in Baldoni's hands, and with the kind of receipts he's holding, this is about to get real messy.
She is an egotistical bully.
And as we all know, Hollywood is on fire, and the latest explosion just shattered the perfectly polished image of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
We just went through Justin's 179-page lawsuit, and I am shook.
And this time, Justin Baldoni isn't just defending himself. He's ripping apart the entire narrative with a 170-page lawsuit stacked with receipts. This isn't some petty legal squabble. It's a full-blown war where careers, reputations, and Hollywood's power structure are all on the line.
Blake Lively's complaint of harassment. He called me sexy. I felt so uncomfortable. Why would you do that?
Blake Lively accused Justin Baldoni of making her uncomfortable on set, claiming he whispered in her ear that she smelled good and called her sexy. She painted the classic powerful man, helpless woman picture, and the media ran with it like it was their golden ticket to the next viral outrage cycle. But then came the receipts, texts, behind-the-scenes footage, and contradictions that completely wrecked her claims.
But I want to go over here to page 19, specifically in a text exchange pretty early on in the film process that really goes against the narrative and sort of story that Blake's sort of telling of how they are. I feel well played today. I feel the same. It's such a good feeling to get work done that we're proud of, to do this together. This is Blake Lively texting, and it just clicks when we find it. And this is just as rewarding as filming it or editing or marketing it or releasing it. This is all storytelling. This is why we do it.
One of the biggest plot twists? Blake's own messages. In texts obtained by Justin's legal team, she casually referred to herself as a ballbuster, a term that, if flipped around, would have been headline material if Justin had used it. Their dynamic was friendly, collaborative, and full of casual banter.
This is now during the harassment phase, mind you. This is her very grateful. Justin loves this. Thank you so much. It feels good. I like sentimental Blake, he says.
She praised Justin, sent warm texts about working together, and not once hinted at being uncomfortable. This was not someone terrified of her director. And as we all know, Hollywood betrayals hit harder than scripted drama. And Ryan Reynolds just pulled off a plot twist no one saw coming. At first, he and Justin Baldoni were all smiles, exchanging texts full of admiration and mutual respect.
And I'm like, we are dealing with a sociopath who literally called you a predator. Let's all be happy with difficult. So I really want you to process what they cut out to make him look like a predator. They cut out the complete admission that they don't know what happened on set.
But fast forward a few months, and Ryan went from calling Justin a wonderful collaborator to labeling him a deranged predator and trying to erase him from Hollywood. What happened in between? That's where things get messy. Justin reached out to Ryan with a lighthearted text, joking about bringing literal baggage to their meeting and gushing over how much he admired Ryan and Blake's relationship.
Here's the Justin text to Ryan. Hey Ryan, Justin Baldoni here, the guy who brought his literal baggage to his meeting with your wife. I asked Blake for your number well over a month ago and have wanted to text you for a while now.
He even mentioned that Blake took the project because she saw how much Justin adored his own wife. Not exactly the kind of message you'd expect from a man plotting to destroy a marriage. Ryan, in return, was all in. He praised Justin, called him a wonderful collaborator, and even credited Blake's sharp creative instincts for some of his own best decisions. There was no bad blood, no tension, just two professionals hyping each other up.
And so I guess this is just an awkward text to say, I'd like to be friends. I'm happy there's no check yes or no box. Blake also sent the sweetest message to my wife unprompted, saying something similar, which just made me respect her and your union even more.
Then, by July, Ryan flipped the script so hard it gave Hollywood whiplash. Out of nowhere, he went straight to Justin's agency, WME, with a full-on character assassination. He called Justin a predator, demanded he be banned from the film's premiere, and told executives no one wants him there.
But Reynolds was unwilling to consider any counter-narrative. Reynolds reiterated that Baldoni should not attend the premiere on August 6th, stating no one wants him there. When Baldoni's agent shares this conversation with Baldoni and Heath, both are disturbed by Reynolds' continued efforts to damage Baldoni's reputation within the agency.
This wasn't just Ryan taking a stand. It was a deliberate attempt to blacklist Justin from the industry. And when his agent tried to push back, Ryan shut down any conversation that didn't fit his version of events. And because Hollywood loves layers of scandal, this case comes with a side of potential industry rule-breaking.
We did get more Taylor Swift as well, as she basically is attempting to rewrite the rooftop scene, famous scene in the book, a scene she later acknowledges that Ryan Reynolds wrote, which he would have written during the strike.
The scene in question? The rooftop moment, a huge part of the original book. Rewriting anything during the strike was a massive WGA violation. And if Ryan really did tweak that scene, he could be in serious trouble. But here's where it gets shady. Blake herself contradicted the timeline. She went on record saying Ryan had written the rooftop scene.
She writes this long piece to sort of justify why they help her be seen more, and she doesn't give a shit anymore. She's got to stop worrying about people, what they think. You know, they know how I'm not always as good at making sure I'm seen and utilized for fear of threatening egos or fear of affecting the ease of the process. They don't give an S about that.
But just 6 days later, in a private email, she suddenly claimed the scene had already been finished before the strike even started. So which version is the truth? And why was she shifting the timeline? Then comes the power play behind the scenes. The lawsuit claims Ryan wasn't just involved in marketing the film. He was practically running it.
This is against Blake, Ryan Reynolds, and their PR hack. And what they're alleging is that they had nothing to do with that negative round of press that Blake suffered last summer, that it was organic, but that they did have internal PR meetings about what they might have to do.
He allegedly controlled promotional shoots, influenced PR strategy, and shaped how the film was being presented to the public. The more control Blake had over the film, the more influence Ryan had behind the curtain. But Justin? He was in the way, and this one might just blow up in Blake Lively's face. Her entire case against Justin Baldoni hinges on one moment, a whispered comment that supposedly made her deeply uncomfortable.
And that Blake had spent the entire prior year trying to wrest control of this movie away from Justin Baldoni. It was his film, he was the director, he's the producer, he's the one who found the book and got the idea for it. And she was such a brat that she wanted to control every scene, wanted to see all the dailies, wanted to do her own cut and did her own cut of the movie. All this is very unusual for just an actress in the film.
According to Blake, Justin leaned in on set and whispered, "You smell good," in a way that crossed the line. That was the moment that launched headlines, fueled outrage, and put Justin's career on the chopping block. But now, Justin's lawsuit has dropped a nuclear-level counterpunch. The entire moment was recorded, and the footage tells a very different story.
2 points I want to really point out. This one here, during the whispering on set, out of character, where Justin's saying, "You smell good," he breaks down in vivid detail what actually happened.
According to legal documents filed on January 30th, 2024, high-definition set cameras caught everything, crystal clear video and audio included. And instead of some creepy, unprompted whisper, the footage allegedly shows Blake herself bringing up the scent of her spray tan. She reportedly apologized for the strong smell, casually mentioning it in conversation.
This is the unchoreographed kisses scene, but before that, sorry, I want to get the...
You're right there.
Yeah, here
Right
it is. She keeps arguing and directing the scene during it. She keeps talking about, Ryan and I like to keep talking. This is all happening during this dancing scene.
Justin? He simply responded with, "It smells good." That's it. Not whispered, not inappropriate, just a casual remark in response to something Blake brought up first. Now, the big question, if Blake knew this moment was filmed, why didn't she acknowledge the footage from the start? If the case was solid, wouldn't she have referenced the actual clip instead of a carefully framed retelling?
Baldoni laughs and shakes it off, but Lively once again starts talking about how her husband can't not talk. I think that's cute. I think it's more than cute, she responds. She continues arguing, trying to direct him for the scene while they're supposed to be in character filming the scene.
Moreover, from the moment It Ends With Us went into production in 2022, Blake pushed aggressively for creative authority. According to the lawsuit, she wanted full access to the dailies, the raw, unedited footage directors and editors used to shape the final film. Normally, actors don't get this level of control. But Blake? She wasn't taking no for an answer.
Blake saying she's writing him, "Hey, would you mind giving me access to the dailies? I'm curious which takes you like, the scenes you showed. My manager flew across the visit tomorrow. He heard all about it from Warren. I'd love to show him. I appreciate you. Maybe slammed to make this happen, but maybe someone else can facilitate. Thanks so much."
A leaked text exchange from July 10th, 2023 shows Blake messaging Justin's assistant director saying, "Can you send me full access to the dailies? I want to review all takes before they're locked." Justin's team responded professionally, reminding her that this wasn't standard protocol. But instead of backing off, Blake pushed harder, asking who she needed to talk to in order to override the decision.
So again, this is her harasser that she had such a problem with. She's now just trying to early exert control.
According to a leaked production memo, Blake also demanded input on the film's final cut, despite not being credited as a producer or director. When the studio wouldn't give her full control, she started framing Justin as difficult and unprofessional. And right around the time she lost that battle, her accusations against him escalated.
Miss Lively and her representatives were not only deeply involved in the attempted takedown and smear campaign of Mr. Baldoni, Wayfair Studios, and their teams, but that they themselves initiated it. Now, what this actually means is that all those TikToks and metadata that we've been reporting on, and so many of you guys have been reporting on, it's been making a difference.
And while Team Blake was busy running a digital smear campaign, the real legal battle was unfolding behind closed doors. On February 5th, 2025, the first court hearing took place, and the judge wasted no time shutting down the media circus. He warned both sides to stop using the press to manipulate public opinion.
Guys, the court hearing ended, and the judge made it clear to not keep commenting to the public. Yet now Blake Lively and Justin's team continued to talk to the public.
And yet, within hours of leaving the courtroom, Blake's legal team ran straight to TMZ, releasing a statement calling Justin's lawsuit a sideshow meant to distract from the real issue of harassment and retaliation. They insisted that Blake was ready to fight in court and even claimed that the judge had ruled in her favor. But if you actually look at the court filings, that's not what happened at all.
So you all made a movie, but the way you've treated Justin and all this absolutely has damaged his career. And just because you make allegations, we're learning that doesn't mean they're all true.
Blake and her team lost every single major legal request they filed. First, they tried to get Justin's lawsuit dismissed entirely. The judge denied the request, ruling that the case had enough merit to move forward.
Now, sources on the other side, close to Justin, tell TMZ the judge did not rule in Miss Lively's favor. What they had asked of the court was a gag order for Blake not to be deposed by Brian and for the entire case to be dismissed. None of that happened.
Second, Blake's lawyers argued that she shouldn't have to give a deposition, claiming she had already endured enough emotional distress. The judge wasn't buying it. Third, Blake's legal team pushed for a gag order to silence Justin. They wanted him barred from speaking about the case publicly. Once again, the judge refused. Now here's the reality. They're losing control fast. The court has officially ruled that Justin's evidence will be reviewed. Blake will have to testify, and no one can stop Justin from speaking out. So, the next time Blake and Justin face off, will the truth finally come out, or will Hollywood rewrite the script again? Hit subscribe, and you'll be the first to know.